Welcome to the Dodgers Blue News channel. Before the news, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Now, let's get to the Dodgers news.
Hey there, Dodgers fans. Today we're talking about the latest news involving our Dodgers. Look at this, Dodger Blue family, another magical night took place in the Arizona desert. Our Japanese phenomenon Shohei Ohtani once again showed why he is simply special, launching his 54th homer of the season straight into the cold waters of the Chase Field pool. It was in the fourth inning when Ohtani stepped into the batter's box, facing Diamondbacks pitcher Nabil Crismatt. What happened next was pure art, a 406-foot blast that sliced through the Arizona air like an arrow, carrying two precious runs and extending our lead to a comfortable 6-0. That ball left no doubt the moment it came off the bat. And let's talk about the impressive numbers from this machine called Ohtani. With that home run, he tied his personal mark of 54 long balls, the exact same number he hit in 2024, his first season wearing the blue and white uniform we all love so much. Coincidence or not, it was in that very year that we captured another World Series title. But the story doesn't end there, folks. Ohtani also reached 101 RBIs this season, marking the third time in his 8 major league seasons that he surpassed the 100 mark. That's consistency at the highest level. And for those who worried about his return after elbow surgery, you can breathe easy. As a pitcher, our two-way superstar has maintained an impressive 2.87 ERA over 14 outings since returning to the mound. It's Ohtani being Ohtani, dominating both at the plate and on the mound. The 8-0 win over the Diamondbacks was yet another demonstration of the Dodgers' offensive power, and with Ohtani leading this machine, every game promises to be a spectacle of its own. And now we have to talk about some news that isn't exactly what we wanted to hear in this final stretch of the season. Our veteran closer Kirby Yates has been placed on the injured list for another 15 days, retroactive to September 21st, due to a right thigh strain. Manager Dave Roberts had already hinted at this move to reporters. Yates' situation has been complicated since he joined the team. Remember, folks, this 38-year-old signed a $13 million contract at the start of the year, coming off a sensational 2024 season with the Rangers, where he posted an unbelievable 1.17 ERA in 61 appearances. He was supposed to be the missing piece in our bullpen. But the reality of 2025 has been quite different. This is already the third time Yates has landed on the injured list this year. First it was in May with a right hamstring strain, then in August with lower back pain, and now this new thigh injury. Altogether, he has managed to pitch only 41 1/3 innings for the Dodgers, with a 5.23 ERA that's far from what we expected. What's most concerning is that, even with a decent 29.2% strikeout rate, Yates has struggled with the long ball, allowing 9 home runs this season. For an experienced closer like him, those numbers are really troubling. The situation becomes even more delicate when we look at the overall picture of our bullpen. Dodgers relievers have a collective ERA of 5.69 just in the month of September, numbers that place us among the worst in the league in that regard. With Michael Kopech and Brock Stewart also recently on the injured list, our bullpen depth is being tested to the limit. The timing of this injury couldn't be worse. Although we have good chances of winning the National League West Division, it's unlikely we'll catch the Phillies to secure a first-round bye in the playoffs. That means we'll probably have to face the wild card round without our primary closer. There's a chance Yates could return for the division series, but he'll need to fully recover and convince the coaching staff that he deserves a spot on the playoff roster. Until then, we'll have to hope our other relievers can find their form at the most crucial moment of the season. And now we arrive at the topic that could define our playoff destiny, Roki Sasaki. With only 5 games left in the regular season, manager Dave Roberts has a crucial decision to make, especially after that painful loss to the Diamondbacks that left us all with a bitter taste. Sasaki, our young Japanese prodigy, spent much of this season on the injured list due to a shoulder injury. But now he's back, not as a starter, but coming out of the bullpen. This role change could be exactly the ace up the sleeve we've been waiting for. Remember how this kid shined in the 2023 World Baseball Classic. When the Dodgers managed to bring him over 2 years later, the expectations were sky high. Injuries complicated his major league debut, but now we have a second chance to see his talent in action when we need it most. Tom Verducci, one of the most respected insiders in MLB, hasn't hidden his excitement about Sasaki's possibilities. He believes the young Japanese pitcher could be tested in high-pressure situations as soon as this week, and wouldn't be surprised if Sasaki takes over as the Dodgers closer in the playoffs. And honestly, folks, looking at the current state of our bullpen, this could be the solution we've been searching for. Tanner Scott has been inconsistent since returning from the injured list, and we all know that without a reliable closer, any championship dream can sink in October. That's where Sasaki comes in, with all his talent and still untapped potential. Roberts has a few games left to test this new setup. If Sasaki can quickly adapt to the closer role, he could become the lifeline our bullpen desperately needs. Just imagine, a young Japanese pitcher with a golden arm closing out crucial games on the way to another World Series. The challenge is significant, but the talent is there. Sasaki has everything it takes to be the missing piece in our puzzle. In the coming games, every appearance he makes on the mound will be under the microscope, because it could determine not only his playoff role but the fate of our entire season. For those not as familiar with the story, Sasaki is that young phenomenon who arrived to the Dodgers surrounded by expectations after his impressive performances representing Japan. Though injuries slowed his start in the big leagues, now we have the chance to see him shine when the pressure is at its highest. And if Verducci is right, Sasaki might just be our key to postseason success. And looking beyond this postseason, folks, Roki Sasaki represents much more than just an immediate solution for our bullpen problems. At only 23 years old, he could become one of the cornerstones of the Dodgers' next decade. Just imagine, if Sasaki manages to establish himself as our closer in these playoffs, we could be witnessing the birth of a new era. He's young enough to hold down the closer role for the next 10, maybe 12 years, giving us a level of stability that few teams ever achieve at such a crucial position. But his potential goes far beyond that. Sasaki arrived here as a starter, and even now in the bullpen, his pitching arsenal is complete enough for him to return to a starting role if needed. That versatility is pure gold in modern baseball, where having pitchers who can play multiple roles is vital for long-term success. Sasaki's international experience, especially that dominant performance in the World Baseball Classic, shows he isn't intimidated by pressure. That mentality, combined with his natural talent, could make him one of the faces of the franchise for years to come. With our history of developing Japanese talent and the first-class infrastructure we have, Sasaki is in the perfect environment to maximize his potential. If everything goes as we hope, a few years from now we'll be talking about him not only as one of the best closers in the league, but as one of the central pieces that helped build a modern Dodgers dynasty. The future has never looked brighter, and Roki Sasaki might just be the catalyst for all of it. And now we come to the subject that could define our future, the upcoming free agency season. And folks, there's one name being whispered around the hallways of Dodger Stadium more and more each day: Kyle Tucker. The playoffs are right at our doorstep, but the front office is already looking ahead. And you know the Dodgers. When it comes to top-tier free agents, our organization never hesitates to open the checkbook for the best talent available. Kyle Tucker, currently wearing a Chicago Cubs uniform in his first playoff appearance since 2020, is set to become the biggest name on the free agent market after this season. Earlier in 2025, speculation suggested Tucker could land a contract in the $600 million range, but a few minor injuries and a slight dip in performance may have adjusted those expectations. Even so, it's hard to imagine Tucker signing for less than $400 million, and that number seems much more attractive to organizations like ours, with a history of heavily investing in elite talent. Bleacher Report recently published a projection that made many Dodgers fans daydream: Tucker signing a 10-year deal with us. The speculation is that even a $500 million commitment could be realistic, whether he stays with the Cubs or seeks new horizons. And just look at this guy's resume: 4 consecutive All-Star selections, a Gold Glove, a Silver Slugger, and a career OPS of .867. Even in this season, considered below expectations by some, Tucker still hit 22 home runs and drove in 73 RBIs across 132 games. If Tucker has a strong playoff performance with the Cubs, it could raise his market value even further, putting him in the same mega-contract category as Juan Soto or Vladimir Guerrero Jr. But one thing is certain: the battle for Tucker will easily be the biggest story of the 2026 offseason. For an organization that's always looking to improve and has a proven track record of attracting big stars, Tucker would be the kind of addition that could keep our competitive window wide open for years to come. The question isn't whether we're interested, but whether we can beat the competition once the bidding war begins. And Tucker would be exactly the type of player to fit perfectly into our system, folks. Just imagine, an elite left-handed hitter who can play anywhere in the outfield or step in as a designated hitter, giving manager Dave Roberts incredible flexibility when building the lineup. What's most impressive about Tucker is his consistency. For straight all-star selections don't happen by accident, this guy produces year after year, no matter the situation. And with our lineup already loaded with offensive talent, Tucker would be one more piece that forces opposing pitchers to face dangerous bats from top to bottom. Defensively, Tucker brings that gold glove to any outfield spot we need him in. That versatility is pure gold, especially considering how Roberts likes to make strategic adjustments during games. But maybe the most important factor is his age and career timing. At 28 years old, Tucker is entering the peak of his productivity, and a 10-year deal would give us stability right as Mookie Betts begins to enter the latter stage of his career. Tucker also has that clutch mentality you want in October. His experience now in the playoffs with the Cubs, no matter how it ends, is the kind of baggage that makes all the difference when the pressure is at its highest. With our financial capacity and winning culture, Tucker would be another star capable of elevating his game to an even higher level. It's the kind of acquisition that not only keeps us competitive but could define the next decade of Dodgers baseball. Looking at all these moves and situations, it's clear we're living through a crucial transition period in recent Dodgers history. On one hand, we have Ohtani at his most spectacular, proving that the historic investment we made in him was worth every cent. He's not just an exceptional player, he's the face of our franchise for years to come. On the other hand, the state of our bullpen reveals a real weakness that must be addressed urgently. The constant injuries to Kirby Yates and the overall inconsistency of our relievers in September show that even with all the talent in the world, baseball remains an unpredictable game. But this is exactly where the brilliance of our organization shines through. The gamble on Roki Sasaki as closer could be the kind of bold move that defines championships. If it works, we'll have solved our biggest current problem and secured stability for the future. And looking ahead, the possible arrival of Kyle Tucker would represent the next chapter of this dynasty we're building. It would be the perfect continuity, Ohtani dominating as the franchise's superstar, and Tucker coming in as that elite complementary piece to keep our competitive window open for another decade. In the end, these moves show why the Dodgers remain one of the most respected organizations in baseball. Even when facing adversity, we always find creative ways to reinvent ourselves and compete at the highest level. The postseason is here, and with Ohtani leading, Sasaki potentially closing games, and the promise of major reinforcements on the horizon, the future has never looked so blue. That's what makes the difference between being just a good team and building a true dynasty. Now I want to hear from you. Do you believe Roki Sasaki has what it takes to be our primary closer in the playoffs, or should we look for other alternatives? And about Kyle Tucker, would an investment of that magnitude be the right move to keep our dynasty alive for the next decade? Leave your opinions in the comments. Until next time, Dodgers Nation.